All right. So tune in, log in, let me know that you guys give me a thumbs up so that I know that you guys can hear me, all right? As you're logging on and coming into the live, the video, let me know that you can hear me tonight, and feel free to share this video with your friends because I want to make sure people hear me and hear me well, because I know this is going to come up. This case with Cavell, okay, that took place in Atlanta or Georgia. This is a new case that I'm working on, that I'm going to be assisting the family, and I haven't directly spoken with them, but I have received information that's necessary to fight for them and to advocate for what happened to Cavell. Okay, and this happened in Atlanta, right? But I know it's going to come up, and I know there's going to be people that are going to say, hold on, let me take a look here. How's it going? How's it going, Mike? I know there's going to be people that are going to say there's been some deaths and some murders right here in Patterson, and why isn't he getting very active with that? I know that conversation is going to come up, and I'm going to be very blunt with you. Several times I have tried to assist with cases right here in Patterson where people have been killed or murdered, have had different situations take place. And for whatever reason, I would get a phone call from a family member. We don't want you involved. We don't want you doing nothing. We don't want, any video. We don't want anything. And then, they would try to make it seem like I was in the wrong for trying to advocate for them. So I made up my mind a couple of months ago that I refuse to assist anybody unless they first reach out to me and ask me to assist them. Now, I'm not going to turn anybody away. If you come to me and you ask me to advocate for you, I'm going to advocate for you. But I'm not going to just interject myself any longer or take it upon myself to volunteer to advocate for anybody unless they reach out to me, because I got sick and tired of being made to feel like I was the bad guy for trying to just assist someone. So, for those of you that say, there's some things going on in Patterson, can you advocate for that? Reach out to me in writing, inbox me or text me so that I have something in writing from you saying that you would like for me to advocate on behalf of your loved one or your family member that was killed or murdered or, incarcerated for a wrong reason, or whatever the case may be, that you need some justice for a family member. I need that from you in writing, because in the event that I start to advocate for you or for your family member, and there may be some people around who say, oh, we don't want you saying this or doing that or videoing this, or because listen, I've been doing this advocacy work for a very long time. I know what I'm doing. And one thing I'm not going to let happen is allow people to tell me how to advocate. It's like this. It's a one-way ticket with me. If you need me to advocate and fight for you, I'll do that. But I'm going to do it my way. And my way, most of the time, it works because I know who to contact. I know how to push the envelope. I know how to get answers. But I have to do it the way that I know how to do it. That's plain and simple. Like, you don't go to a restaurant and tell the chef how to prepare the meal. You just look at the menu and tell them what you want, and the chef prepares the meal. You don't go back in the kitchen and tell them you want this, but this is how you want them to do it, because this is a restaurant that you go to all the time, so you automatically know in your mind that the chef is going to know how to prepare the meal to your liking, or prepare the meal how you like it because you go to that restaurant. Okay, likewise, when you come to me to advocate, just let me know what the situation is. I'll do the research, and I don't charge a dime. Let me make sure that's clear too. I don't know what a lot of other activists are doing out there, but I don't charge anything. I do everything, whatever I do for the community, it is completely and 100% volunteer. All I ask is that you let me advocate for you the way I know how to advocate. So, because I know it's going to come up, because I know how people think in this city. I know how they think. They're going to say, oh, he's assisting somebody in Atlanta. What about here in Patterson? Again, if you want me to fight on behalf of you, you need to reach out to me in writing and let me know that. That's very important, because I need to have proof in black and white that you need me to advocate for you. So in case at any point in time you start spreading rumors and saying, oh, we didn't ask him to help, I can pull up that letter or email or text from you showing the people advocate on your behalf. Okay, so I need that for my protection and for my safety when I get ready to start advocating on your behalf. All right, so that's what's going on here. I have no problem advocating for anybody. I have no problem fighting for anybody. I was on the phone tonight, assisting stuff that they're dealing with. And like I said, I have absolutely no problem assisting anyone when it comes down to advocating, but I need to hear it from you. I need you to write it either in a text message, in an email. You can inbox me on Facebook, either on this page or on the Corey L. Teague page, but I need something in writing so that I can have it from my records, so when I start advocating and things start moving, that you guys don't come back and say, well, we never told him to advocate for us, or we never told him to fight for our family. Because I've been on the other end of a lot of those battles, and because I didn't have any written documents, because you want to trust everybody. You want to take people for their word and say, okay, you want me to advocate for you, okay, so I'm going to take you for that, and I'm going to advocate for you because you asked me to do so, without asking them to write anything down. And then when you start advocating and things begin to really shift and move, and sometimes when you really begin to push the envelope, there is pressure that comes to bear. You may have some harassment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some harassment may come. There may be certain things that take place, and then you may get cold feet because you see things taking place that don't really feel good. But you have to understand, there's nothing pleasant about a fight. When you get involved in a fight, especially when it comes down to a fight for civil rights or for socioeconomic justice, or just to get justice for a situation where you were wronged at, whether it be by law enforcement, by someone else in the community, it's not going to be a pretty thing. Fighting and advocating for justice can get ugly. It can get ugly. That's the reality of it. It can get extremely ugly, and you have to have somebody fighting for you who is willing to take the hits to make sure that you get the justice that you deserve. I'm the person that does that. I'm the person who will continue to do that. There was a lot of folks out there saying, and this was back last year, 2019, oh, he's fighting for people now, but watch, as soon as he get elected to the school board, you ain't gonna see him anymore. He's not gonna fight anymore. Well, as you can see, that's a lie, because I'm still advocating. I'm at a point now, I've gotten to an age now where I really don't care what they say about me. I couldn't care less. The purpose of this particular video, though, is for legal purposes or legalities, or logistics, if you will. If you want me to advocate and fight for you, I need you to put that in writing. I need to have something tangible in black and white, so that if things start to go south, or if there's some harassment and things like that, you don't just jump up and leave me hanging and saying, hey, I never asked him to fight for me. Because there's been plenty of times when I went to the microphone at City Hall by myself. I'm not going to say at all the time, but there have been a few times when I went there by myself, and I was being attacked for fighting for families that I was asked to fight for. So that season, that chapter is over. It's been over for a few months. So what I've been doing, from January 2020, even up until now, is making sure that people send me written documentation, and I save it. I print it out, put it in my safe place, make sure it's not bothered or touched or whatever, and I have it there. I put the name of the family there. I make sure that it's on file, so that if there's anything that comes down the road and there's any conversation saying that, oh, we didn't really give him permission to speak up for us or fight for us, I can pull out that document and show that you gave me the permission to go ahead and advocate for your family. But that's all I really wanted to say. If you're going to ask me to advocate, allow me to do that. If you know how to do it, then why are you asking me to do it? That's the thing that bothers me. If you're going to ask me to advocate, Corey Teague, if you're going to ask me to advocate, then you need to let me advocate the way I know how to advocate. If you have the answers and you know how to advocate, then why did you call me? That makes no sense. If you call me, that means you obviously do not know how to get it done on your own. You don't know how, or you're not really either prepared or you're just not. And listen, sometimes it's not that you're not prepared. Sometimes when you're going through a loss or you're going through a tragic event, it's not easy to just try to jump in and start fighting and advocating on your own behalf or on behalf of a loved one, especially if you experience the death of a loved one. Sometimes it's not that you're not prepared or it's not that you don't know. It's just that the stress of it all and the anxiety of everything that you had to go through in losing that loved one or that loved one being falsely incarcerated or whatever the case may be, sometimes the stress of all that, it can cause brain freeze where you're just not emotionally prepared to fight the way that the fight needs to be taken. You're not really prepared to take the fight to the people that you need to take it to, because right now you're dealing with the loss, you're dealing with the pain, you're dealing with the stress, you're dealing with the aggravation of having to fight on behalf of yourself or your loved ones or friends or whoever, on top of having to deal with the loss or the pain of whatever took place that caused you to have to reach out to somebody to advocate for you. So I'm that person. Yes, if you need somebody to fight for you, I'm that person. I'm the person that'll do it. However, in order for me to do it, you have to reach out to me in writing and let me know. Meaning, even if you call me, that's fine. But I also need you to send me something in writing saying that you give me permission to advocate for you. Simple as that. I know that I know some people say that's extra. It's not really extra. I need something to cover myself. Because when I advocate, you all know, when I advocate. There's no holds barred. I play no games. I leave no stone unturned. I don't play. When I advocate for somebody, I advocate for them. And you guys know that. I don't play games. But the last thing I need is if I'm advocating for a family and I'm going hard and things are moving and, you actually begin to see some results, the last thing I need is for a conversation to start where the family's saying we didn't ask him to advocate for us and just kind of throw me under the bus. And you have the community looking at me weird because they figure I just did this on my own and the family didn't really give me permission to really speak up and advocate and go around and get answers for the family. And I'm only saying it because I've been through it on several occasions and I refuse to deal with that anymore. So that's why as of January 2020, the system of the way I operate as an activist changed in that respect. Okay? It changed in that respect that everything needs to be documented. If you speak to me, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to document it. If you ask me to advocate for you, I'm going to document it. That way I know that I have it and I'll make sure I get you a copy too. So we can have it on file and we can have that agreement. So that way, and if there are any changes to that, if you feel like you've gotten the answer that you need, or if you feel like, hey, things are not really going as planned, or you're being harassed a little too much, or things are just not where they should be, then I need you to send me in writing a letter to cease and desist to say, okay, we appreciate you advocating for us, but we no longer need your services. Send me another letter so I have the proof of that. So when I stop, you can't jump up and say, well, he just left us alone and, he was helping us and he just walked away. No, I need you to send me that in writing that you need me to stop so I can stop and have proof that you asked me to start and that you asked me to stop so that it's all there. In the past, I never really had to do that much to cover myself, but times have changed and people have changed. Situations have changed. So sometimes you have to change with the times. In terms of being an advocate and an activist, I've never changed from that. But I'm just changing the way the method is in terms of making sure that as you hold me accountable, I have to hold you accountable to make sure I know and I have your permission to advocate on your behalf. That covers me and that covers you. So if there's any legal issues, if there's any lawyers involved, and they need to say, well, did you have a public advocate? I know that I don't think New Jersey has public advocates. I know in New York, I believe they actually have an elected position called the public advocate, if I'm not mistaken, for New York, for New York City. If I'm not mistaken, I believe each borough has a public advocate, and I think it's actually an office that you can run for. But I don't think they have that in New Jersey, but I'm like an unofficial public advocate. I'm there to fight for families and for individuals who have been the victims of wrongdoing, either by the system or by just anything, no matter what it is. But in order for me to do that, and in order for me to make sure that it is effective, I need to make sure in writing, and it doesn't have to be an official letter. It can just be simply, hey, Corey, can you assist me with this? Or can you assist me with that? Or, hey, Corey, we need you to fight for our family. We had this issue, or we had that issue, or somebody referred me to you. Can you please help us? I give you permission to fight for us and help us. You send me that letter, I'll make sure that I fight for you and you get the justice that you deserve and that your loved one or loved ones deserve. All right? I just want to put that out there ahead of time, because I know as I'm fighting for this, for the death of the young man in Atlanta, I believe it's Atlanta. I know it's in Georgia. I know that kind of conversation might come up. People who are not even on my page, people who block me and what have you. But when the conversation comes up, and I'm sure people will come to my page to see what I'm talking about, they'll see this video and they'll see the answer to that question. All right. So I'm just, it's called coming out ahead of things that may be said, may be said or may be done in the community. All right. So I'm still here fighting for the community. I never stopped. Had that little medical, emergency medical situation. I was kind of off my feet for a little while. And I'm going to be honest, even now, I'm still resting. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not overexerting myself. But I am online. I am sending out letters. I am making phone calls when I'm able to do it to make sure that I'm still fighting for folks. So I never stopped fighting, and I never stopped advocating. It's just I want to make sure that everything is in its proper place so that I protect myself and protect you. That's all it's about. We want to make sure that the legalities are all in place so that we know where everyone is at. We know that way I know exactly what it is you want me to do for you. I can let you know exactly what it is I need you to do on your end, because a lot of times advocacy is a two-way street. There may be some things I need you to do that I can't do. Like I'm not, like as an advocate or as an activist, I can't walk into a courtroom and represent a family. That's a lawyer's responsibility. You understand what I'm saying? Or if a family decides that they don't want an attorney, they can represent themselves. You understand? But as an advocate or as an activist, I can't come before a judge and represent a family or an individual. Only a lawyer can do that. See what I'm saying? So to make sure that things are in their proper perspective, and to make sure that I'm not being accused of being a lawyer or trying to pretend to be a lawyer, because I've never done that. But I do know, and I have learned those laws, and I know how to look them up, how to research them, how to make sure you have the tools that you need to fight for yourself, to advocate for yourself. But I want to make sure that it's crystal clear that I'm advocating for you as an activist. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it's really about, making sure that we clear the air so it's understood that I'm advocating for you specifically as an activist. And that's why I want to come on here tonight. I know it's late, but I just, as I posted earlier, I have a lot of stuff on my mind, because I do have requests from different places around the country of people wanting me to advocate for them. I'm talking Chicago, Los Angeles, everywhere. But I just want to make sure that it's clear, because I'm going to put this video on my other page too. Let's just make sure that you send me something in writing so that I can have it for my records. So when I start advocating for you, if you change your mind, send me something in writing so I have that as well to cover myself while I'm fighting for you. So while I'm fighting for you, I got to make sure I'm covered too. That's all it is. It's just insurance to make sure that I'm covered and make sure that you're protected and I'm protected as well. All right? So enjoy your evening. Have a blessed Sunday tomorrow. And if you need me, just reach out to me. I'm here. All right? Peace.